Noblesse oblige. Two French words. A cutting motto. An ancient observation. As ancient as the history of man. Noblesse oblige means something simple and for that very reason difficult. Those who are different are not the same. And they are not meant to be. There have always been in the world those who never truly believed in the myth of equality. Not out of arrogance, not out of contempt, but out of clear sight. Because one need only look at reality to understand it. Men are not equal. They are born different. They live differently. They carry different burdens. And they receive different gifts. Some are born with little. Others are born with much. Some are given a simple life. Others are given a life weighted with responsibility. Noblesse oblige does not say you are better. It says you are bound. Not entitled, if you please. Bound. Bound to be worthy. Bound to carry the weight of your name. Bound not to live as though everything were owed to you. Because those who have received more cannot afford to live like everyone else. This is true aristocracy. Not privilege, but duty. Duty, after all, is what remains when fashion changes. Throughout history, the most refined civilizations understood this perfectly well. Difference was not a fault. It was a richness. Each order had its task, each rank its function, each family a story to be safeguarded. One does not trifle with a legacy. And when this balance held, beautiful things were born. Cathedrals, courts, schools of thought, codes of honor, ways of life. Not everything is born of the market. Not everything is born of usefulness. Not everything is born of equality. The finest things are born of form, of hierarchy, of time. This channel begins here. It is not a channel for everyone, and it does not wish to be. I shouldn't want it otherwise. Here, there will be no talk of social envy, no talk of leveling, no talk of resentment. Here, we shall speak of beautiful things. We shall speak of families, of stories that last longer than a single generation, of names that are not brands but responsibilities. We shall speak of royalty, not as gossip, but as symbols, because a king, a queen, are not merely people. They are figures, and figures educate the imagination of a people. We shall speak of chivalry, not as nostalgia, but as the grammar of the soul. Honor, loyalty, measure, courage. Ancient words, feared only by those who do not know how to bear them. We shall speak of a way of life, of how one walks, of how one speaks, of how one keeps silence. Because even silence, when it is noble, has a shape. Noblesse oblige. It does not promise happiness, it promises height. And height comes at a cost. Noblesse oblige also means something uncomfortable. That not everyone is called to the same things. Some are called to obey, others are called to lead. Some are called to build with their hands, others are called to guard with their gaze. Some choose to serve, others choose to become captains. The modern world has tried to erase this truth. It has tried to tell us that we are all interchangeable, that one man is worth the same as another. But it is not true. Not in reality, not in history, not even in the depths of the human heart. Because everyone, even those who preach equality, looks for someone to admire. They look for models. They look for examples. They look for higher figures. Here we speak of them, of the higher figures. Nobility, when it is genuine, is not born to dominate. It is born to hold a direction, upwards. A noble family, in the deepest sense of the word, does not live for itself. It lives to endure, to transmit, not to break the thread. Every gesture is observed. Every mistake weighs more. Every fall is public. That is the price. Noblesse oblige is not an excuse. It is a voluntary sentence. One accepts it, and one does not make a fuss. It binds you to choose form, even when chaos would be more convenient. It binds you to measure, even when the world pushes you towards excess. It binds you to represent something greater than yourself. That is why this space will not speak of easy success. It will not speak of quick wealth. It will not speak of shortcuts. Here, we shall speak of duration, of families that have crossed centuries, of houses that have seen generations born and die, of traditions that are not folklore, but living bone. We shall speak of education, not as technical instruction, but as the formation of the soul, because a true aristocrat is recognized by how he treats what is fragile, by how he speaks to children, by how he looks upon the old, by how he carries pain, by how he behaves when no one is applauding. Noblesse oblige. It is not being born above. It is remaining above without becoming vulgar. This channel is a threshold, not a refuge, not a nostalgia, but a place where things are set back in order, where we remember that beauty is not born of numbers, but of form, that quality is not born of consensus, but of selection, that civilization is not born of sameness, but of the harmony of differences. There will be stories, accounts of royal families, tales of courts and exiles, episodes of greatness and ruin, because even a fall, when it is noble, teaches something. There will be a long gaze, not the gaze of today's headlines, but that of deep time. And perhaps all this will also take the form of a book. Not today, not for everyone, but when the time is ripe, because the things that matter are not launched. They are prepared. Noblesse oblige. It is a phrase that selects. Like all true phrases, it does not call the masses. It calls singular people. Those who hear it and feel annoyance are probably not the intended audience. Those who hear it and feel a strange attraction, a mixture of fear and desire, then yes, because noblesse oblige does not promise comfort. It promises discipline. It does not promise freedom without limits. It promises a form to inhabit. In the contemporary world, there has been much talk of rights, almost none of duties, almost none of the fact that to have more means to answer for more, to have a name, a position, a story behind you is not an advantage. It is a debt to those who came before, a debt to those who will come after. This is what makes a family something different from an isolated individual. This is what makes a dynasty something different from personal success. That is why in this space, we shall not celebrate the ego. We shall celebrate continuity, not the man who emerges, but the line that does not break, not the noisy exception, but the silent rule. Noblesse oblige is a phrase that educates, because it reminds us that not everything is negotiable, that limits exist, and that limits, when they are just, do not oppress. They give form. This channel will speak of values, not shouted, not waved about, values lived. Honor, responsibility, fidelity, style. It will speak of how one remains standing when everything pushes one to kneel, of how one keeps measure when the world rewards excess, of how one crosses time without dissolving into the instant, of how one rides the market when others seek only the useful. Noblesse oblige. It is not nostalgia. It is elegant resistance. It is choosing verticality in a horizontal age. It is remembering that not everything must be accessible. Not everything must be explained. Not everything must be for everyone. Because what is truly precious asks for silence, time, preparation. This is an invitation, not to follow, but to ascend. Those who remain will find stories, figures, models. Those who leave will have made their choice. Noblesse oblige. Nobility obliges. Always.